Hello again, welcome back to this series which we look at the fundamental models of marketing and what you need to know from these models to become a more competent all-round marketer. My name is Peter Sumpton. I'm the Lego Master of Marketing. I take these marketing bricks and turn them into something fun, understandable, and a bit unique, if you like, for each individual company I work with. I've been a tutor for 10 years, all with the Professional Academy, who I'll introduce in a second. I'm currently assisting Professional Academy with apprenticeships and CIM qualifications. It's an absolute delight to do that. Quick intro for Professional Academy, of which I must say, if you're interested in anything they've got to offer, get in touch with them. Just chat to them. They're a friendly bunch. But what do they actually do? Well, they're a strategic partner for the CIM and a globally recognised provider of marketing training and qualifications, as well as apprenticeships. And the apprenticeship is excellent. Get in touch with them, check it out. Now's the best time to get involved in these types of things, believe me. I'd just like to add a special congratulations to all Professional Academy CIM students for such amazing results over this past week. It's been phenomenal to see the results roll in. Congratulations, you. Okay, so let's get on with this series, shall we? What is this series all about? We started last week by looking at the pest delay model. And we're going to continue by looking at another strategic model which will help with analysis. And we'll go through this series right through to some more communication-based models. So bear with us. We've got to do the strategy and the analysis first before we even think about communications, before we even think about that colorings in stuff we all know and love. And this is the difference between a good and a bad all-round marketer. We do our research, we do our analysis, we know what we're talking about based on sound theory. As with last week and throughout this whole series, I'll happily answer any of your questions at the end. So dive into the Q&A, ask your questions, then after this live, I'll jump into the Q&A and ask them. Ask away, your heart's content. Make it, civil though. So what are we looking at today? We're going to look at the SWOT analysis. What is it? How we apply it? And why is it important? As you can see on the screen, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It was created by Albert Humphreys in the 1960s, and it's still used today. That's how versatile and important this model is within your marketing arsenal. It's simplistic and integral to understanding the internal and external environments. Pest delay last week, we looked at external. SWOT combines that with internal. The internals are strengths and weaknesses. External, opportunities and threats, again, as you can see on the screen. But how do we utilize this model? It's usually implemented within a situation analysis, which means it's part of our research before we get to setting any objectives or looking at any strategy or tactics. It helps us look at a lot of research and compile our findings. As you saw on the screen previously, there's 4 individual boxes that we need to complete. The best thing about SWOT is its versatility, and I'll come on to that later and give you some prime examples of its versatility. But you should be utilizing this model, not just for your marketing planning. You should be utilizing it for business management, review sessions with staff, brainstorming, marketing planning, campaign mapping, evaluations, even personal development on an individual basis, party planning, weddings, picnics. The list goes on. It is that versatile. Again, we'll look at some examples later, but I just want to highlight some of the benefits of utilizing this model. 1, it can uncover some competitive advantages you may not have thought about or known about within your business, your strengths, your core strengths. It also pinpoints areas to focus upon throughout all the individual elements. It provides a strategic direction and focus for the business if implemented correctly. It can also highlight the negatives, the stumbling blocks, and how we can overcome these. So we look at our threats and our weaknesses, but using our strengths and opportunities to combat against those. And we can use it to develop plans, both short-term picnics and long-term weddings. Okay, that's enough of the hilarities. Let's take a look at how versatile this model is by looking at a few examples. The first one being business management. So as you'll see on the screen, you will see strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats if we were to utilize the SWOT analysis in a hypothetical scenario within our current climate that we are in today. So let's have a look at this. Again, a hypothetical business. Their strengths are they've got a passionate workforce and a strong infrastructure, a really good supply chain, distribution, those types of elements. The weaknesses are that they're slow in decision making, a bit archaic in that way. And they offer a current face-to-face service, which in the climate we're currently in is kind of a no-no, to be fair. But there are opportunities. We're looking external here. So the opportunities are, we know where our customers are, or should be. They should predominantly be at home. And the service that this business offers can be tailored, bespoke, or made massively different to our competitors. But there are threats out there. For this company, the threats are that the competitors already provide the service that we're going to look to provide, because we have to change it up a bit. Another threat is that the service that we're going to provide could be seen as temporary, a temporary fix. But what does this all mean? Okay, how do we utilize what I've just said? Well, we can look at our strengths, and one of them is infrastructure, and we can look to change that infrastructure. We know we're going to have a battle to change it because it's going to be a slow process internally. So we need to think of ways we can speed this up. And we know that our service is going to have to be delivered at home, but we can make it unique, and we can highlight through our comms that this is going to be a change for the good forever for our customers. And that in general is how we'd utilize the SWOT analysis within a business scenario. Okay, so on to the next hypothetical scenario. Let's see how versatile this model can actually be. So we're going to look, we're still going to stick with a business, but we're going to look at campaign planning. So a strength of campaign planning or mapping would be that we've got a large customer database. Again, hypothetical scenario, but within this current climate. We've got a large customer database, so that is a strength of ours. And as individuals, as a department within the business, we've got the freedom to react, which is fantastic, considering that the majority of us are potentially working from home or have limited interaction one-to-one, face-to-face. We do it online predominantly. But the weaknesses are, and I think we can all relate to this, is that we've got literally no budget. Our budget's been decimated. And we have limited resources to do this. Okay, so that's internal. What about external? What's the current climate looking like? Well, for our campaign, we know many of our competitors are changing their comms to fit within this current climate. Okay, that might sound like a bit of a threat, but bear with me on that one. Also, we know there's an opportunity to extend our share of voice. This excess share of voice we can gain because our competitors are changing their comm strategy. We're going to stick to ours. But there's threats, as always. Reduce customer spending for obvious reasons, and government intervention. That can happen at any moment, at any time. So what does all this mean? Again, how do we implement this SWOT? Okay, so think of our strengths. We can target our customer base directly. We're looking at current customers, not new customers, they might be difficult to see and target. Because we've got a limited budget, that large database comes in pretty handy when it comes to data and information on our customers. We're going to stick to our communication strategy. Subtle tweaks, but we're going to stick to it because we know it works. And we know that our competitors are changing up, lacking focus in the areas that we're going to focus our comms upon. And finally, we're going to highlight the immediate change to help our customers within their current situation. They're reducing their spending. So within our comms, within what we're doing through our large customer database, because they already know who we are, we're going to highlight the fact that we're going to help them within this scenario. We're not going to preach. We're not going to say we're always there for you or we care for you or anything like that, because we've always cared for them. We've always been there for them. We're just highlighting that this immediate change is to help them in the short term. And who knows, it might become a long-term strategy. So from a campaign perspective, we're looking at our strengths and weaknesses and how our opportunities and threats, we can utilize all 4 of those going forward. So the final example I want to show you is a massive step change. So this is personal development on an individual basis. Again, hypothetical scenario about an individual within the current climate. So some of this person's strengths are that they understand the industry, and you probably know your own industry very, very well, and that's a strength of yours. And you might well be creative and driven as well. Again, a massive strength. Don't be shy about these things. But the weaknesses are you live in a busy household, and procrastination kind of sets in because within the current climate, you're working from home. You're in that tiny little office with the window, and there's a lot of birds singing outside. You can see the cars moving up and down, or you can see a leaf blowing in the wind. That procrastination is always there. Although you're creative and driven, it's easy to creep up on you. But let's take a look at some opportunities and threats. Well, online learning platforms. Some are free, some are paid for. Usually the paid for ones means better quality. Start with free and move on to paid. Look at different techniques. The Pomodoro technique could be an opportunity here. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. Repeat. But some threats. Social channels. Forever distractions. Just a quick scan, just a quick flick, carries on and carries on. 20 minutes later, you've realized there are no funny cat videos anymore. And finally, a threat could be the poor Wi-Fi connection you're finding. Could be because you've got a busy household, you haven't got the bandwidth, or it could be just poor connection within your area. Okay, so we know the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats for our own personal development, but what does this mean? Well, quite simply, look at them and look where we can mix and match, use our strengths to negate some weaknesses or threats, or use opportunities to negate threats. What we're going to do here is implement the Pomodoro technique. This will help reduce procrastination, which is one of our weaknesses. And what about the poor Wi-Fi or internet connection for that matter? Well, what can we do there? Well, we find a backup for it. Maybe it's we invest in a dongle, or maybe we ask our company to really help us out and give us that investment on something that we can utilize better. 4G, for example, 5G as it's coming in. There's always ways. The SWOT analysis should always provide you with ways that you can negate the weaknesses, combat against the threats, increase your strengths, and look at the opportunities. So now we've looked at those 3 in-depth examples. Hopefully you understand why the SWOT analysis is important. But let's just have a little recap and then we'll finish with a bit of a review. Okay, so the SWOT analysis is very, very versatile. It can be used for picnics, for crying out loud. Although that wasn't an example, hopefully you know how that could be used for a picnic scenario. Potentially. Okay, anyway, it collates a lot of useful information. Your cheese sandwiches and your salt and vinegar crisps, that kind of stuff. No, in all seriousness, it collates a lot of information from your research, from your situation analysis, bringing it back into a business environment. Do your research, bring it into the SWOT. It compiles things nicely. It's the link between internal and external analysis to provide you with a direction going forward. And that can be done, as we've seen in those examples. But what about best practice for using a SWOT analysis? What can we say about that? And how can we make sure we get the best out of utilizing a SWOT? In 2009, Coleman and Ronin commented on 4 key factors that are required to utilize SWOT analysis to the best of its ability. First of all, it needs to be concise. So say no more than 4, maybe 5 factors listed within each category: 4 strengths, 4 weaknesses, 4 opportunities, and 4 threats. Number 2, make it authentic. Make sure each factor is supported by evidence. You don't have to show that in the SWOT, but make sure it is supported by evidence. If you get questions around a SWOT, for example, for a campaign, make sure you've done the research, you've got the evidence to back up what you're saying. The third factor is significance. Make each statement impactful, have value, and of significance. And finally, actionable. As we've seen with those examples, I spoke about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities and threats, and then we actioned. We made it actionable. When you've got your SWOT analysis together, look at how you can action going forward for the short term and the long term. So to recap, concise, authentic, significant, and actionable. So finally, let's review this whole thing, what we've talked about, where we've come, and what we now understand. Well, SWOT analysis is usually implemented within a situation analysis, and I think that's fundamental, and we can all agree on that. And we can agree on its versatility as well. One thing it helps to do is compile a shed load of information, so utilize it to the best of your advantage. Go through your research, go through your situation analysis, and you should be able to pick and draw these lines from other situation analysis tools that we can utilize, such as Pestele, that we covered in the first of this series. This is number 2. This model can be used for management workshops, review sessions, brainstorming, marketing planning, campaign mapping, evaluations, personal development, weddings, bar mitzvahs, picnics, etc., etc. So to close on this presentation, first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today. Absolute pleasure to take you through one of the fundamental models that we need to be exceptional marketers, exceptional all-round marketers. Next week, same time, same place, June the 17th, 12:30 BST, we're going to be covering the marketing mix, the 7 P's of marketing, not to be confused with the marketing comms mix. This is the marketing mix, the 7 P's. If you're interested in the previous episode or any episodes that we're going to be live streaming within this series, it can be found on the Professional Academy YouTube channel or in the blog post that accompanies this series. And it's with great pleasure I can finally say, to end this